Have you ever gotten yelled at for being a couple minutes late to work? Well, I have, and so did the person who posted this story on Reddit. They start off explaining that their boss is a passive-aggressive bully, micromanager, and has zero positive statements or praise towards staff. The only time he laughs is literally at someone else's expense. We're off to a great start here, and I can already tell where it's going. I transferred to this location in February because of my spouse's employment opportunity. Have not gotten along with this guy from the start. I do my job, my clients like me, and I'm hitting my numbers. We just don't click. He also made an off-color joke in May that referenced my spouse as a hooker working on a street corner. I had a meeting with him about it and we settled it without anything formal. His boss only knows because I left early the day he made the joke, making it very clear why I would not be back for the rest of the day. He panicked and called to get his side of the story to cover his ass. At this point, we can already start making assumptions that the boss is all talk and is projecting his insecurities rather than actually managing his employees or workload. Apparently, he has a pet peeve of lateness. I live very close. This is partly why I haven't just quit or transferred yet. And if I hit one slow driver, etc., I end up being a few minutes late. Well, Friday I got stuck behind a slow truck and was a whole 5 minutes late. Before I could even get out of my car, he was standing in the parking lot. Made a big show of looking at his watch and shouted, "Great job, only 5 minutes late today." I had had enough and shouted back, "Please don't make any more passive-aggressive comments. If you want to write me up, then write me up." "Oh, it's coming." And he storms off. I am a salary employee. I don't get paid extra when I stay late, and I'm not sure any upper management are going to give a squirt if I'm 3 to 5 minutes late every day as long as my numbers are good. I've worked at 3 other locations that didn't care if I showed up 20 minutes late. There are other issues here beyond the lateness. This guy is a bully and he's creating a really toxic work environment. What do I do? Before we answer OP as to what they should do, they did make it a point to note the following. I am not asking for advice on how to be on time. I will no longer be late, and this is not the issue. This is merely the latest example of how this bully / micromanager uses anything to read me the riot act. Obviously, being late is not the real issue here, and OP is absolutely correct about that. And this is because it sounds like their job does not require them to be on location for the full duration of their workday, given that their numbers can be accomplished anyway. You know, the stuff that really matters? It sounds like upper management has their priorities straight when it comes to this issue, and it does give us a direction for OP to go in. Step 1 is OP should absolutely have a discussion with their boss's boss, also known as a skip level meeting. And this meeting is going to be about the micromanagement their boss is putting them through. I would leave the lateness issue specifically out of it and just focus on stuff that can't come back to OP. Step 2 depends on whatever happens in step 1. Either upper management sets their boss straight and everything changes and everything gets resolved peacefully. This is of course very unlikely as bullies tend to be petty. The other scenario is OP's job stays the same or begins a downward spiral into chaos. In preparation for this scenario, of course, I recommend that OP starts looking for a new job so that they can put their current one behind them should everything go awry. So what did Reddit have to say about this? The top comment correctly advised OP to start writing everything down and wait for their boss to really mess up so as to have a ledger to hand over to HR should things come to that point. It is worth noting, however, that this is going to take up a lot of time and energy on OP's part, and it is a dice roll as to whose side HR will take for the convenience of the company. We don't know whether this is going to be scandalous enough for the employer to do something about it. As many people like Josh Fluke would say, HR does not exist to protect the employee, it exists to protect the employer. And the point is this, any case that OP starts building should be framed in terms of how it's hurting the company and not just them. Yes, it sucks that this is the way the world works, but in my opinion, this is professional due diligence, and it's going to allow them to show that they've exhausted every possible option before resorting to finding a new employer. That last bit, incidentally, will come in handy should they actually have to resort to finding a new employer. That's all I've got for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and until next time, work from wherever your boss can't micromanage you as hard.